Okay, targeted individuals. Now, yo, um, we talk about the assumed unnatural conspiracies and the exorcist method. Now, let me just go into a little bit about what I mean by exorcist method and why exorcisms work um, in the same way as you would see law enforcement. So basically, exorcisms, in my point of view, in my opinion, is when you're is a method you use to try and defend yourself um, against unwanted spirits or familiar spirits. So you have like holy water, and it's more of an NLP technique as well. You have holy water, and obviously the placebo effect is also very prominent in these methods. So as soon as somebody believes it's holy water, their mind somehow um, convinces itself that it's healing, and the subconscious can believe that, and it can happen. Yeah. But there are unnatural conspiracies which arise when somebody starts to view your thoughts. Yeah. If it is proven that your thoughts can be viewed to the same level of clarity and definition and understanding as the actual simulator, you yourself, then you're going to have to consider these unnatural uh, ways of seeing, and hence the term unnatural conspiracy. There are natural conspiracies that can develop from this unnatural way of seeing. That's what I mean by unnatural conspiracies, because seeing into people's minds is basically you're seeing intellectual property, you're seeing what I need to keep to myself in order to compete with you. So the reason why we came up with data protection is for that very reason. If I've got information that I need to compete against someone else, you'd rather it not be seen. So if somebody conspires to see your competitive knowledge and protected data or intellectual property, if you like, then this is going to put you at a disadvantage economically, physically even, and also among your peers. Yeah. So there will be conspiracies, and these conspiracies can develop. I'll show you. They into two different types. From my experience, this is what I've noticed. As being a targeted individual, it's not just about the known targeting out there. We also experience other forms of targeting. These spiritually based targeting techniques. So, having been a victim for 20 years, this is what I've noticed. This is part of my study or my investigation into the subject. And I've noticed so far there is no proof. There's not going to be any proof, because obviously no one's really going to let me be rich enough to afford the type of support that I'll need to do a proper scientific study, yeah, and to get some actually valid data on my theories. So part of the conspiracy is to make sure that I never reach a status where I can actually investigate and prove my theories. Yeah, because obviously to get this kind of the kind of investigation you need to do to prove this, you're gonna need to conduct studies, paranormal investigations. It will cost you money to set up. Yeah, you can't. You need to take sample views and brainwave patterns from thousands of people before you can detect the trends and patterns that confirm your theory. Yeah. So, but I'll never be in a position financially to be able to afford to do the experiments that I'll need to do to prove any of this. So, but this is what I've noticed. So you're gonna have to take my word for it. As a targeted individual, I'm telling you this is what I've gone through. Yeah. Seems to me whenever I have thoughts of a religious nature, I also experience targeting, which can be said to have originated from someone viewing my thoughts. Yeah, someone viewing my thoughts is an unnatural way of viewing, and so when I have religious thoughts, and it turns out that an unnatural conspiracy has formed. That is a conspiracy that's formed where the cause of it was something that I thought, not something that I did out in the physical world, but something that I thought in my head, never shared with anyone, but someone was seeing in my head and seeing what I'm thinking and decided to organize gang stalking, gaslighting, and all the known stalking behaviors for me. Yeah. So whenever I have religious thoughts, yeah, maybe someone could be viewing me. That's from another religion. Somebody could be Hindu, Tao, Christian, Muslim, Jew. And whenever they see me thinking something that is not with them, then you can start to see gang stalking and gaslighting and street theater and things like that. And then when you ask yourself why is that happening, and you eliminate all possible causes, like I told you, I try to avoid being victim to this. Yeah, ideological based conspiracies and economic conspiracies. I avoid those so that I can conduct this experiment. Yeah. So as I'm conducting this experiment, I try to make sure that I keep my beliefs in terms of what I say publicly. I keep all this in check and try to minimize this noise so that I can concentrate on catching the moments when this is happening. Yeah, that's why I do that. So when I have religious thoughts, yeah, and I've managed to make sure that all this is in check, yeah, then I notice that gang stalking and street theater is happening. You can say, well, the only thing that could have provoked anyone would have been this thought of something religious or religious character. So then you can say, okay, the only ones who would have been offended by that is such and such a person. And then you can trace it and say, okay, if that person was offended, he could have organized this, and you can trace it even 6 degrees of freedom do that. So another reason why I get gang stalking from unnatural conspiracies would be when you think something forbidden or taboo. Yeah, somebody might be seeing into your mind and gets offended by that, and then coincidentally, it's always going to be coincidentally because you can't see who's seeing into your mind and you can't prove it, and they don't accept that it happens. So coincidentally, somebody will see there. Coincidentally, so they'll be in your mind seeing in there for whatever reason it is. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'll tell you what it is actually. So they'll be in your mind just trying to do whatever they're doing in there. Then you touch on something religious and they get offended and they can harass you for that. Or you touch on something forbidden. You might think about I'm not going to tell you what my taboo thoughts are. No chance. No chance. So so you think something that's forbidden in their eyes, and sure enough, predictably, they cause you discomfort with their gaslighting, gang stalking, and street theater. Or you can have thoughts of an anti-establishment point of view. If you think about how you don't like a lifestyle, yeah. If you think about how, I don't like people who are like this. I don't like people who are pro-abortion. I don't like people who are anti-abortion. Whatever. If you think it in your head, someone might be watching your mind that's of an opposing opinion, gets upset, and that's also a reason. Sometimes you see gang stalking and you're like, what did I do now? I can't source it to anything I did. Sometimes it's what you thought. Yeah. So, and sometimes these are the main thoughts. The main thoughts. Yeah. That I've noticed. Yeah. Lead to unexplained gang stalking instances. So there's a special class of conspiracy which is opportunity-based conspiracies. This is when your peers, family, anyone who's considers themselves to be a rival to you, resorts to watching your mind to one, steal your creative thoughts, basically steal your intellectual property. You might think of a new drink, type of cola, and it's in your mind and it steals that. whatever idea you're going to come up with, they're in there trying to do that. And in fact, it's because they're doing that. That's why when you don't notice that. You just go about your business. Sometimes you have religious, sometimes you have anti-establishment, sometimes you have forbidden thoughts. You're a normal guy. You just go about your business. But this fucker here is in your mind trying to steal any idea that might lead to money, right? That might lead to an economic gain. So as is in there, I occasionally do this on purpose just to identify who's stealing my shit. Do you understand? I'll think something religious. I'll say something positive about, I don't know, Christians. And then I'll wait for gang stalking. No reaction. Then that means that's someone that's Christian. Or I'll say something against Christians in my head. I'll think in my head something against Christians. And if they react, then I know it's someone who's Christian that's watching there. Shouldn't be doing that. I'll say something against Islam. If they react, then I know that someone's Muslim. Again, shouldn't be doing that. I'll say something against Jews or whatever religion it is. I'll think. I won't say it out loud. You'll never see me saying anything against any religion. I'll never say that out loud. I'll think it in my head. And if I see a reaction that I can source to that, then I know that you're going against your religion. You're fake. Christians, Muslims, Jews, whatever, Hindu, you're fake. Yeah, because your religions, I know for a fact, well, most of you anyway, that you're not allowed to see into people's minds because that makes you a jinn, a demon, a familiar spirit, someone who consults mediums, a conjurer, a sorcerer. Yeah. So if you react to it, you get reported straight. Yeah, to your religious leaders. I don't care. You shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, if you're religious, you shouldn't be seeing into people's minds, and you shouldn't be trying to thief ideas from people's mind. And the other type of person that you find in your mind is somebody who's in your mind because you inspire them. Yeah, I know. We inspire them too. Don't ask me how, but that I've noticed that. That's what I've noticed when I'm living my life. That's what I've noticed. Some people are in there because you inspire them. But then, if you develop a religious thought against their religion, they can also do gang stalking on you. Basically, generally, anyone who sees in there is no good for you, and you shouldn't really tolerate that. You should boss your own mind and let them know who's boss. Yeah. So when they do decide to conspire against you because you've thought something that they don't like, yeah. There are two communication methods which act as sources of support and aid for them. Yeah. More sources of an aid for them. There's a subconscious to subconscious communication. This is when your subconscious communicates with the subconscious of another human being. Yeah, I know you don't believe it, but yeah, they're doing that. As we're being conscious, our subconsciouses are talking to each other. I've noticed it. I told you I'm awakened. Those of you who are not awakened, this is what you're going to find when you wake up. Right? I'm awakened, so I can hear what my subconscious conversations are from time to time. It's scary as fuck. Yeah? That's why we end up having mental illnesses, and that's why we freak out, because we're awake into that state. So you want subconscious. Let's say you think something that your subconscious develops from the time you're born. I told you, when you're a baby, yeah, you're looking and you're doing that. Your subconscious is in the background, moving your arms, trying to see how the arms work. You're moving your legs, trying to see how the legs work. You're not concerned with that. You're not even fully conscious yet. The consciousness, is not even fully developed. But your subconscious develops before you. It learns how to walk. And then when you try to walk, it puts everything together. Yeah? But it's learning as you're busy looking around. You don't even know you're moving your arms and legs. So your subconscious is a different you. It's a different simulator. You can call him the ultimate viewer. Yeah, but we'll get into that. So your subconscious learns, and by the time you reach my age, by the time you reach this age, your subconscious is like a totally different individual. Yeah. So when you think, because me, I don't care. Like, I'm having creative thoughts all the time. I don't care if my subconscious likes it or not. But when you think something your subconscious doesn't like, it results to communicating with other subconsciouses who are like-minded with it. Yeah. and that's how the conspiracy builds up, and then the gang stalking appears, but it's not really, in terms of the physical world, it's not related, it's not connected. That's why you can never find evidence of it. It's subconscious to subconscious interactions here. So then you have 4 or 5 subconscious people appear to be working together against you. That's because your subconsciouses are building a legion here. And then they can, if they want to punish you, then they can talk to other subconsciouses who are more like mercenary subconsciouses, which are people who are concerned with making money at the expense of their ethics. So if you have, when somebody is going through life, like I told you, I manipulate myself, so I'm the one who does NLP on my subconsciousness, my critical layer, and hence my subconsciousness learns from me. I know there's other people who are trying to manipulate it into being other things, but essentially my subconscious knows it learns from me. Yeah, because I know that this communication takes place, subconscious to subconscious communication. I take control, yeah, of how I react to my subconsciousness. I don't know everything about my subconsciousness, but where we interface, yeah, if my subconscious has been watching me to learn, I've been running commentary on my life, so it's been learning from me. Yeah. So, but other people, they might have chosen to learn different morals, and they become this person. And when you become that person who's concerned with making money at the expense of your morality or ethics, your subconscious will also develop to be someone who's like that. So that will become a mercenary subconsciousness. Yeah, a mercenary subconsciousness will then, when your subconsciousness wants to punish you for thinking something it doesn't like, then mercenary subconsciouses can also gang together to form that gang stalking structure that you see, yeah, or street theater that you see, yeah. And then there's the subconscious to consciousness communication, where my subconsciousness is communicating to me when it doesn't like what I'm doing or it wants to tell me something. So these are trigger word based attention grabbing. I'm watching a TV program and only certain words stick out. It's my subconsciousness. As soon as it hears it, it pays attention to that. It amplifies it. It amplifies, trying to tell me something. Again, I told you, I listen. Yeah, if sometimes I agree. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Yeah, but I take the final decision because you're trying to manipulate me now. So that's what I'm going to be the boss manipulator. And sometimes it's feeling-based attention grabbing. Feeling-based attention grabbing, this comes from when you see something and you start to feel something about it. You could see a woman and you start to feel this intense feeling of love or an intense feeling of arousal or an intense feeling of joy of some kind. Yeah, that's your subconscious using feelings to grab your attention to what's going on, and then you start going into the love thing and all that. But one thing I wanted to add, that these people here, opportunity-based conspiracists, when they're in your mind, yeah, they can be in your subconsciousness talking to other people's subconsciouses, yeah, forming that gang stalking structure that you targeted individuals see. Yeah, they can also do that with subconsciousnesses who are mercenary in nature, and to form those structures that's legion against you. And they can also be in your subconscious and try to use trigger words to grab your attention, to, well, make your life a living misery, or to actually make themselves feel a certain way, yeah, to alter how you think. Yeah. So in my experience, that's what I've noticed. Yeah. So if you are awake, you would have noticed the same thing by now. By now, you'll be seeing the same thing. Trust me. Yeah. If you're not awake, yeah, this is what you're to look forward to. Yeah. I'll go into the methods these people use to get here in the first place. But most of those you guys have already covered. Voice to skull, but that doesn't really tell you what the thought is. Yeah, It can tell you as much as think left. It shows you if these brain patterns are there, that means it's thinking left. If these brain patterns, they do that with pilots when they hook them up to those things, where pilots fly planes with their thoughts. So they've advanced to that level, but they can't see the actual thoughts. They see the brain pattern that it leaves. But we're talking about people that actually see the thought as you're seeing it. They actually see what you're seeing as you're seeing it. Yeah. So those voice to scar methods are not seeing thoughts. They're seeing the evidence of thought, which is the electric activity. They're seeing electric activity rather than actual thought. They're interpreting electrical activity. They're not actually seeing thought. They're interpreting the debris from thought, if you like, which is the electrical activity. uh, the the effect from thought. So they use different methods, but these are people who have consciousness to consciousness connection with you. Yeah. And the medium through which they connect your consciousness could be a medium, like you say, another human being, or it could be, basically it is what I call unnatural. Yeah. It's an unnatural power that they're using to be able to see your thoughts. That's all I'd add.